barbarians from the gate.
I got into the labor movement not because I wanted to negotiate wages. I got into the labor movement because I saw it as a vehicle to do massive social change to improve the lots of people.
Let's take these son of a out and give America back to America where we belong. Thank you very much. Thank you.
As far as I'm concerned, the Tea Party can go straight to hell.
Final hour begins right now. I'm Brian Sommerfield with Trucker Randy, your defending fathers.
One of the individuals, Brian, that put out a press release as part of the Michigan Campaign for Liberty's activity this weekend, I've invited him to come on the show and join us, is our own defending father, Chad Stevens. Chad, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Randy. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
A little surprised to see your press release this morning that if, in fact, Republican State Senator Howard Walker from the 37th District, your state senator, if he votes yes on this expansion of Medicaid, that you plan to actually challenge him in the primary next year, 2014.
Well, I do. These guys can't continue to vote to expand government, and Howard hasn't voted for this yet. So let's make that clear. But according to all indicators, he's on the fence and leaning towards supporting it. And I just can't allow that to stand. I mean, I'm a lot more limited government minded, I think, than most Tea Party people or conservatives. But this issue is really important to them as well as to me, and I think it's a line in the sand for a lot of people. That when you vote to expand Medicaid, you are violating your oath of office. This program is nowhere authorized under the Constitution, and you are aiding and abetting them even at the state level when you vote to take their money. And in the long run, voting to take that federal money has only created the demand and the spending that cannot be sustained at the state level. These guys have to take a stand against this stuff. They have to quit aiding and abetting the federal government and imposing socialism.
Well, one of the aspects of the interview, and I don't know if you heard us interviewing State Representative Mike Shirkey and Frank Foster there at the 10 o'clock hour, one of the very first questions that I got all weekend long at the events I was at, chat messages on Facebook, was the number one first question out of the gate was, does this Medicaid expansion bill, HB 4714, does it in fact implement an exchange to start Obamacare here in Michigan? And their answer was emphatically a huge no, it does not. It's on page 25, line 20 of the bill. It specifically says it does not set up a healthcare exchange in Michigan to implement Obamacare. And, it was the biggest resounding question people wanted me to ask these guys, and they came out and said it doesn't. So what's the need for you to basically primary challenge Howard Walker if this does not, in fact, set up a healthcare exchange?
Well, with all due respect to the people that made that claim, whether it does or doesn't, and I would argue that it does help the federal government further the infrastructure needed to impose Obamacare, federal funding of these things is unconstitutional. And even at the state level, you take an oath to uphold the oath of office. And, Republicans like this, when they support these things, have led to the end result that when in power, Republicans grow government at about the same rate as the Democrats. And it's always, we're going to manage it better. And what that boils down to is we're going to implement and manage socialism better than our progressive allies in the Democrat Party. And a lot of people, a lot of the Republican base and a lot of conservatives and the Tea Party types, they're just done with that game plan. I mean, why should they go out, Randy, and campaign for these people and vote for these people and give them their money when frankly, we can all sit on our butts on our couch and the Democrats will impose socialism for free?
Right, and without any effort on our part.
That's right. I mean, I get a lot more free time, and I have the same end result. I mean, it seems like a win-win situation if they're both offering us the same thing.
No. You don't get the same thing. I'll give you a perfect example. My wife, my daughter, son-in-law, 3 grandchildren are leaving on Thursday to drive to Disney World in Orlando, Florida. I'm going to be staying home doing this show for 10 days while my family leaves to go enjoy a vacation in Florida. We could be in Florida, or we could be spending time with our kids, or we could be out at the parks playing volleyball, doing whatever we want to do, baseball, whatever, as opposed to working within this political party. Our quality of life, Chad, I contend, would be a whole lot better if we chose not to support these guys and do what we got to do. Why are we doing this then?
Well, no, that's a great point. We would actually come out ahead. And I think people, by and large, vote for these people, Randy, because they run under the guise of, hey, we're going to get governments off your back. And no, we're not going to be able to get complete limited government or complete adherence to the Constitution this term. But if you vote for us, we'll get us that much closer. And the sad fact of the matter is they keep getting us further and further away from that. And they aid and abet their supposed opponents in the Democratic Party and on the liberal side of the aisle when it comes to imposing these things. And frankly, in my opinion, the Republican Party either needs to step up and really become a party of limited government, or it needs to go the way of the Whigs and join the Whigs in the ash heap of history.
Join the Democrats and let us take over the party.
Well, absolutely. Those that really want liberty, that want limited government, they can join, they can leave and join their Democratic allies in imposing socialism and be honest about what they intend to do in office, and we can take the party into a different direction.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that I wanted to ask you, Ron Paul's PAC is the one that offered this assistance to these candidates, you being one of them, that in the event these senators tomorrow, we hear, they could vote on this bill, vote yes on this bill, that they are serious about contributing money into this state to get your campaign and the other 10, 12 people that are putting out these press releases. How serious should these senators take this press release that you put out this morning?
Well, on a note, I made sure to send a copy of the press release directly to Howard Walker's office. But I wouldn't seriously even be thinking about running if the money wasn't there. But I've gotten a lot of calls from individuals, over the past several months, and from different organizations, encouraging me to run and committing money. And let's face it, some of these money bombs and things that these different PACs do are very effective. People like Justin Amash that are very principled and liberty-oriented have been very successful in bringing money in from across the United States, from Tea Party groups, from conservatives, from libertarians, from independents, and focusing that effort and being able to show clear victories and wins, in specific local and regional races. And I think that's the plan here. It's been an effective model, and frankly, I think we have to show these guys that we are not going to buy your socialism or your so-called socialism light. We want to buy liberty. And if you're not offering that, well, we're going to take our business elsewhere. And we're going to vote for your opponent in the primary. Or something that I think is even more important, not voting for these guys in the general election, regardless of whether they win the primary or not. You vote to expand Medicaid, you vote to expand, Medicare at the federal level, you vote to increase the debt. Well, enough is enough. We are no longer going to support you. You guys may be successful in imposing socialism and destroying what remains of freedom and liberty in this country, but you will do so without our assistance. We're not going to join you in your sin. We're not going to join you in your quest to impose socialism. Not in this country.
Amen. Well, we appreciate you calling in this morning. We have Chad Stevens, who's put out a press release. Senator Howard Walker's office has gotten a copy of it, been put on constructive notice, Chad. You're not messing around if he votes the wrong way on this bill.
Well, amen, Randy. Thank you for you and Brian for having me on this morning and for all the hard work you guys do.
Thanks a lot.
Chad.
We appreciate it.
Stick around. More to come. We are your defending fathers.